Hey everyone, it's Will, Gamer Dad, with another video for you. So first off, I'd like to give a shout out to one of my Patreon supporters, Frank. Thanks for your support. Now in today's episode of Should You Summon, we have a lot of different banners to go over, and so I'll take some time and discuss each and every one. And again, you can leave some comments below if you disagree with me, for example, if you have some different ideas, or so on and so forth. Now, if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. And like I said, I do have a Patreon account for those who want to support me this way. So first off, we do have the 3x max Fateful encounter for the Song of Sword and Wings of Lost Paradise conclusion series. So obviously this is to celebrate chapter 10. And again, this was mentioned in the notice yesterday, but you can do 3 Fatefuls total, which is obviously 1,000 paid stones of each. On the 10th ally encounter, it guarantees one of these 5 stars. So you can see that it is approximately, there's 9 units and anywhere from 10 to 12% kind of distributed. Now, first of all, obviously the focus is on AS Thillelille, being that she is the newest gacha unit out there. However, on this banner, not only can you get the AS version, you can obviously get the OG or normal style version, which still can side grade to AS eventually. You have Rosetta normal style plus her AS form, which is obviously extremely powerful as the first Magic Zone setter in Global. We got Melina. Normal style and AS style is probably not the most exciting. However, we do have the ES version as well at a 10% chance. And keep in mind, again, you can still side grade the other two to the ES version if you want to. Milsha, of course, is 12%, and finally, Mystere is 12%. Keep in mind, that's only on the 10th pull. Pulls 1 to 9, of course, still has that rare 0.03 or 0.02% chance of getting those featured 5-star units. And you can also pull any of the other ones as well. And of course, normal, 3.5s, 4s, bots, Rainbow Sisters, and so on and so forth. So, if you're wondering whether or not you should summon on this banner, first of all, if your goal is to primarily get AS Thillelille, this is already a pretty good banner in terms of odds-wise. It's at least as good as a Fateful, possibly a little bit better. You also have a 10% chance of getting the normal style, which, like I said, can side grade to AS as well. So if your goal is to get any form of Thillelille, this is probably much better than the regular Fateful encounter. And if you want to add any of the other kind of Mythos units, most of which are extremely powerful, I would say of all the units, not really. Honestly, all of them are very, very good. Like Mystere is good, Crystal, and you can see if you watch my video, chapter 10 does require Crystal to make life a little bit easier for the boss fight. But even normal style Rosetta can side grade to AS. You got 2 versions of Melina, which essentially allows you for the 3rd version. And of course, Milsha is no slouch either. Now, you can argue that if you have to side grade, it's going to be a little bit of a pain, anywhere from 3 to 6 months, plus grinding out treaties and chants. But still, you can unlock a lot of powerful units this way. And so, if you're willing to pay stones, I say go ahead and summon this banner. Anywhere from 1 to 3 times, especially depending on your needs and wants for your team. Now, we can go to the next one, which is just a straight AS Fateful for Abyss Liberator, aka AS Thillelille. Like most normal Fatefuls, this is a one-time shot. 0.4% on the 4-star, 0.8% on the 5-star, of course, normal style, as well as the AS version, 10% chance on the last pull. And of course, same thing with Fatefuls, you do have access to all the other units in play. Keep in mind that Hardy does have an AS version released just tonight, I believe, in Japan, announced in one of the notices. So that might be one of the units you want to add for yourself. And of course, we can go to the regular banner for AS Thillelille. That is for regular free stones as well as paid stones. Similar odds, except they don't guarantee a 10% chance or any sort of 5-star like a Fateful does. Keep in mind, you do get the access to Yuella and Milsha and Melissa. In terms of the newest units, I don't believe they have the absolute newest units. However, you can review the complete list. Usually, regular non-paid banners does have a delay of somewhere between 1 or 2 of the newest units. Now, for those who missed my notice yesterday, AS Thillelille is I wouldn't say an improved version of the normal style, although a lot of people would argue that that's the case. Instead of being a single target, high DPS shade unit with some fire support in terms of damage, her main use wasn't on fire damage, mainly for shade, one hit super, hundreds of millions at times for the normal style. Now, Thillelille is a little bit different. First of all, she can activate Lunatic in two ways. One is with her VC, which is very unique to her. Her normal style can't do that. And of course, she can activate Lunatic in the front lines as well by pressing the Lunatic button. And again, she is a shade unit, but her two AS moves are both extremely powerful. There's a fire AoE, there's a slash AoE, and the modification, like the damage modifier, is extremely high. Not only that, she does retain her 4-star moves that, for example, increase her fire and shadow buffs of her user 50%. So that's the Soul of Honor, which really helps to enhance her damage. She also still does have the Void Strike as well, which is the speed and physical resistance negative 50% for 3 turns on a single enemy, and that's a slash attack. Now bear in mind, the Void Strike isn't a guarantee, but still allows you for extra damage when you can apply that physical resistance down. One last thing to note is that with Thillelille, she starts with 3 stacks, and of course the more stacks she has, in the case of her fire move, the more hits she does. And when she damages herself or gets hit by anyone, she also gets a stack as well. So that's really how you boost your damage. When she activates Lunatic, she also damages herself. So her fire moves damage herself and builds stacks. It enhances when she has more stacks, and so on and so forth, allowing for insane damage and can stack type resist debuffs on the enemy, which will enhance her damage and the damage of your entire team. Fire and shade type to be exact. So in terms of talking about her as a unit, extreme high-powered DPS will obviously fit on slash teams, even fire teams, and don't forget that a lot of the more powerful slash teams are based on fire. So you have, of course, Radius, you have the boost from Pride of Miglins, for example, ASMU, you have guaranteed crit from her anyways, the list goes on and on for fire slash. And if you just use regular slash team, I'm sure you can enhance the damage either way with Thillelille. Now, of course, one downside to having Thillelille, in terms of, if there is a downside, is that by using stones on Thillelille, it does pull away from future banners. And of course, being that we are catching up to Japan very, very quickly, the last update was only 1 week ago, and we only have essentially 3 updates or so before the Goddess of Time, which a lot of people are waiting for in terms of getting either Nakoko or ES Tsukiha. Not only that, but of course we still have Melody coming up before that, and AS Tsubame. After that we have AS Mayufa, and far down the road we have AS Chio, which is the second Magic Zone setter. There's tons and tons of good banners. And so the real answer is, do you need a top tier slash DPS for your team now? As in, if you can't beat content with it, then you would highly consider using your stones here. She is, like I said, she fits into multiple slash teams, and she also has that shade AoE. And for those who already have someone like Milsha, you know how powerful shade AoEs can be. So there's really no downside to summoning on her banner, except for the fact that you are taking away from other banners. One last thing to note is, of course, as much as good as high-powered DPS units are, she's relatively selfish in that although she can do some support by applying some fire and shade type resistance down with her move, she doesn't boost or buff other units. And so if you're looking for a more all-around unit that can help boost your team, she wouldn't be it. She would have buffs and kind of crit setting and all that fed onto her, although in her case of critical, she already does her own self-critical, so don't worry about that. So hopefully that answers a few questions about whether or not you should go for Thillelille. I will say that the tone of the should you summons will change a little bit over the next few months, only because so many units are coming out, and it's not a matter of are they bad banners, it's more like would they fit your team better than other units that you have access to. Now, on another note, there is one last banner we should talk about, and this is a new banner. So they did say in the past that certain episode banners will be permanent in the regular one. So AS Thillelille's banner, as well as the Fateful, is limited. In the case of this one, you have access to 3 upgraded units, all of which are belonging to the Mythos. Now, this is an older banner in a way, so you don't have access to all the newest units. You have Thillelille, regular, Melina, normal style as well, and Rosetta, normal style. So note that you don't have access to the ES or AS versions of Melina, no AS Thillelille, no AS Rosetta, and so on and so forth. So that is essentially chapter 1 of the Mythos quest. So there's a huge downside in that sense where you don't get the newest units. Now, conversely, because of that, you have access to 3 units. So this banner would be perfect for either newer players who want to eventually, or I shouldn't even say early players, more like mid game to early late game, where you have a decent roster, but you're missing a couple of units that you will eventually side grade to those powerful forms. And so if you're missing 2 or 3 of these units, that is Thillelille, Melina, or Rosetta in any form, this is a great way to top up either 1 or 2, if not all 3 of them. And given that in general, once you're at the end game, in 3 to 6 months, you should have enough chance and treatises to upgrade at least one of these units, given some RNG in your favor. This is a decent banner to kind of put your stones towards. However, being that it is a regular banner, there is no reason to rush into the banner and spend it over, for example, some of the newer content coming out, like the aforementioned banners. So this regular banner is perfect for when we eventually do catch up to Japan and content slows down and you're saving those stones and you're itching to pull a 10 pull on filling out your roster with units you don't have. I would highly recommend this one as well. So in conclusion, lots of awesome banners, lots of powerful banners, banners for free to play, banners for paid players. And let me know in the comments below if you're planning to summon, if you have summoned, your results on those summons. And again, I do wish you great luck on your summons. For myself, being that I do have one form of Thillelille, I have the normal style. I also, of course, do have Rosetta as well as Melina. I won't be summoning in any of these banners. I will be farming the treatises for Thillelille. And if you must know, for those who missed my live stream, I did do my luring shadow drop, which is covered on the live stream at the very end of the live stream, part 3. I did get a normal style Tsukiha as my 5-star rainbow shadow drop, so a luring shadow drop. So it was a dupe, hey, but more shadow for the eventual ES Tsukiha. Anyways, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.